Hi, everybody. It's Agnes. Welcome to another interview with Kim. Hello, Kim.
Hi, Agnes. Hi, everyone.
I'm glad we're back here together doing our thing. We're going to talk about some good topics today, and we're going to start with staying persistent. What have you got to say about that on the manifesting journey?
So this one's really important, and I think people mix this one up a lot because I know a lot of the feedback that I get is staying persistent is I have to obsess and constantly think about, what it is that I want to manifest. And that is not what staying persistent is. So to me, staying persistent is trusting and knowing that it's going to unfold for you. And just believing in that no matter what the circumstances look like every day, every day, every day. And that's it. You stay persistent in the belief and the assumption that what you want is yours.
That's true.
Yeah.
I had someone ask yesterday about, do you just keep thinking about the desire or do you drop it? And it's like, well, you do your meditation, you focus on it. You do your affirmations, you focus on it. But then when you go to make your lunch, you actually focus on what you're eating, or you focus on, your job. If you're at work, you don't take the desire with you and think about it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I think that's obsession, and it's still trying to force and make it happen. If you're that, like a dog with a bone, you got to have times where you get right off it. You got to create a vacuum for it to come into.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's so important, right? Because there's such a difference between obsessing and like being in the natural state or thinking of it naturally. Because I know like when I'm obsessing, you're forcing, like you said, and you're constantly, when is it going to happen? And you're in that lax state, like, oh, I got to obsess about this to make me feel good. Instead of like being present in your life, being focused on, your beautiful work or your friendships or, watching a YouTube or watching a funny movie or petting your animal or whatever, like living your life. And then when you're in a place where maybe your mind starts to wander, like driving the car or taking a shower, then you want to maybe persist in your living in the end or your visualization or whatever makes you feel good thinking about whatever it is you want, but it should not be forced all day long. Like to me, energetically, you're putting that desire, it's still on the pedestal.
Yep.
Nothing's changed. And the energy is so off where you're devaluing yourself and you're overvaluing something outside of you still.
Nice. Yeah. Self first, then everything else gets added onto us. But it has to be that we have that good foundation of self, as in not just, I want a relationship, that's me, that's what I want, but that you have other compartments in your life that you keep going, like just basic looking after the body, with food and sleep and drinking water and exercise. We need that to have a clear head to then be able to do all these other techniques or to absorb knowledge. Even if we just read, you got to have a clear head, and the body needs certain things to have a clear head. You need the physical layer to be attended to. And I think now, go ahead.
Well, and I was just thinking too, because you reminded me of saying that, like something that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about when he talks about that when we're like, obsessing and we're in this state of stress all the time, that we're not allowing our bodies to heal or repair themselves or just in a state of relaxation. So when we're not allowing ourselves to be calm and at peace and engaged in just our normal day-to-day life, where it's not stress induced because we're obsessing about a problem or we're obsessing about something we don't have and trying to figure out how and when and who and what and where and all this shit, then it's like we're actually allowing, like you said, the energy to be in alignment so that it can actually come into our experience. And people get that so mixed up. And I do a lot of videos on this, like obsessing is not the answer. That is you trying to force bringing it into your reality, which is just reaffirming that you are in a state of lack of consciousness.
Yeah.
That's it. You're not shifting. You're not becoming a new version. You're not living in the end. You're not energetically in alignment with what you want. And you're keeping yourself trained and conditioned in that state of being always.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you have a desire, if you are really in the state of having it, you're relaxed and you feel good. You don't, you're not with your little eyes darting around, preoccupied with how, you know, you don't do all that anymore.
Right. Remind me, do you remember the soap operas? Do you remember soap operas like on Fridays? That would be the last thing where they would look at like this, and then it would be a cliffhanger, right? You just reminded me. You're like, what's going to happen? I can't wait till Monday. Exactly. That was perfect.
Oh, the little eyes darting around. Oh, God, that's funny. Okay. It is. Preoccupation tells you you're not you're in dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction keeps everything way over there.
Yes.
It doesn't come in, doesn't.
No. And it's exactly what you said. It's like, you're not trusting. You haven't let it go. You don't trust that it's done. You know, you don't believe that it's yours, and you're still rooted in the energy of, I don't have what I want. I mean, that is why you're feeling that way. And we train ourselves, right, to be that way. So the work is getting out of that state of being and getting in the state of being where you're relaxed, you're trusting, you're knowing, and you let it go, and you're feeling satisfaction, contentment, whatever, peace. As much as possible. We're never going to do it perfectly.
Yeah.
But you want to keep shifting as much as you can.
Definitely.
Go
ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, what do you think? Because I know it's running in my head, but I want to get your opinion on this.
Yeah.
So when you have people reach out to you that they're stuck in that old version of them, like and they're not willing to help themselves, like what do you hear is their biggest excuse as to why they're not feeling the contentment, they're not trusting that it's done, they don't let things go, and they're still wanting to obsess?
What's the biggest reason?
Like the main reason that people give you.
I don't think it's one reason. I think it's everybody's got their little way of just not being able to do it. You know, there's always it's a lack of I think it's a lack of being able to focus and concentrate is at the base root of all the different reasons.
Yes.
Because I hear a lot, yes, I know self-love meditation, but my mind wanders. It's like, well, so does mine. And I've been doing it for 30 years. I still have meditations where my mind wanders. The meditation, you can do it every day. Some days you're going to do it great. Other days you're not. You just go, I did my best, and you let it go. We are human beings with minds that love to go to different things. So you really are at the base of all improving your focus and your concentration. And in this day and age, now we're in 2020, we're in the age of distraction with devices. So people don't have good concentration and they don't have good focus.
Right.
So this is the thing that I think that I see as a common thread amongst people. And it's people that have anxiety, people that have trouble sleeping, people that have trouble with stress. When they're in situations where they're having a hard time in a relationship or a job or their money situation, they've got such stress and anxiety about it. The mind is just running on jumping everywhere. You got to be able to control and harness this. And to be able to do that, you got to go a level deeper, which is you got to improve your concentration and your focus. Now, how do you do that when you're practicing distraction 16 hours a day? You're not going to have that skill developed in a week. It's got to take time. Oh my God, I love you.
Yes. No, I love you. Listen, that's exactly what I agree with you 1,000%. That's why I was asking you, I was like, she's my soul sister. She's going to say the same thing, because it's the truth. It's the lack of effort to learn how to focus and concentrate and train the mind. And it's like people think I just have to do something, you know, once a week for 5 minutes. And it's like, no, this is a lifestyle every day. And
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like I have to work on my shit every single day, because if I don't, I will go back to a very old state of being.
Yep.
You know, and I don't want that, because I've come too far. But
Yeah.
it's to me, that's what self-love is. One of the first steps is, let me take the time every day to focus on bettering myself, to focus on learning how to go from novice to master when it comes to mastering my mind, because none of us know how to do it. We just have to start somewhere.
Exactly. And you're only as good as yesterday. Like, you know, all the work you and I have done got us to yesterday, but today it's a fresh new day, a fresh new leaf. You have to, you could easily slide back if you don't maintain, because it's their habits. We've got really good habits today, but you know, I mean, it's like Alcoholics Anonymous says, a day at a time. If you go out and have a drink, all those, you know, 4 years of you not drinking it still exists, but you've basically flushed it down the toilet, and you got to start again, because your mental state, it doesn't stay static. It moves, and it adapts to whatever you're giving it, feeding it, you know, just. So it's maintenance on a high level, and that requires what we were just talking about, concentration and focus, and massively important. I'm going to put a few links down to 2 YouTubes I listen to from Dandapani, which he talks intently about focus and concentration. And I think he says it really well. So I'll put that down below.
Oh, beautiful. And Neville talks about that too. I mean, Neville really emphasizes in his teachings, like the importance of focus. And he even gives people, you know, the, what was it when he said, like, every night before you go to sleep, like recount your day, so you can start learning how to focus on different events in your day to start training your mind. And like, it's people want that quick fix, that instant gratification. And that just screams that I'm still not buying into, because I don't know anything different, that I don't need something outside of me to fulfill me. And it's like, you won't know that until you start practicing this stuff. Like, there's just no other way. You and I can't give them our own experience. They can't feel what you and I feel, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It is, you know, like, because we both attract to our channel a lot of people that struggle in relationships, wanting an ex back, a specific person. And the more I over the years, I'm working with people that want things, you see at the base of all that, that is the symptom of a much greater thing that needs attending to, which is you are not in a state of being okay with where you're at, with who you are. It's a spiritual dis-ease. And the dis-ease is not going to be quenched and satisfied by a person, more money, or an amazing job. I mean, those things will assist you to feel a little bit more calm, but then you always want something more, something more, something more. So if you don't deal with the base of dissatisfaction, and I'm not enough as I am today, if you don't deal with that, it's like that leaks into all areas, year after year, decade after decade. And you live an unhappy life at the base.
Well, because I love that you said that, because it's all about, I have to keep going outside of me so I have some kind of effect in me. And so we're always being controlled by our environment. Our emotions are out of control because they're based off who's in our life, who's not in our life, you know, how much money's in our life, how much money's not. And so we're always on this emotional roller coaster because we're not understanding that that's the old reality. That's the old 3D model that we're ascending out of. And we need to go into the 4D, which is in here, that I can access any kind of feeling or state of being that I want to within myself. And
Mm.
then that's how we start attracting in, or, you know, aligning with and allowing things to manifest in our world, but we're not allowing it to control us.
Yeah.
And that's what people, they have to break that habit, that addiction or habitual way of going outside of themselves to feel something or not feel something.
Yes.
So and this is why I believe, like, because I look at, you know, I'm 43 and like, I've been working on my mindset for a long time, but like, this is decades of conditioning and training since pretty much birth, or, you know,
Yeah.
very young adolescent or toddler age or whatever, to go outside of you, to get mom and dad's approval, get the caretaker's approval, the babysitter, your school teacher, your peers' approval. It's always, always something, you know?
Yeah.
And so this is why we have to keep working on it every day, because reality is going to show us some things, you know, our 3D is that we're either going to allow to control us or not. And it's really a choice that you have to make every day.
Yep. Yep. I
Yeah.
agree. And you got to work out who your puppet master is. Who's my puppet master? You know, is it the relationship, or is it, you know, my bank account because I'm preoccupied with how much I haven't got? Is it my boss who's annoying me and I can't stand it and I want to leave my job? Who's the puppet master that you hand your power of how I feel to?
Yes.
You're handing it over to something.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, and we have lots of puppet masters.
Lots of them. Yeah. And you're never running your own show, which is why people tend to think, and I know because I operated this too. If I work over here, it'll be better. Or if I'm, you know, in this other relationship, this is a better person. And it wasn't, because I am the constant in all that shit I manifested and created. And it's not about something outside of us. It's always about accessing from within first. And then it just comes in, because now we're energetically in the state of being of what we actually want. We're actually being what we want. Yeah. And that's the piece. And there is no shortcut. It's a lifestyle. It is not a strategy to implement for 2 weeks and then you never have to, you know, do it again. Exactly.
And I think when you first start working on this stuff, you're doing it for a specific reason. Like there's something in your life in one of those categories that's really bugging you. So you get online. I mean, these days it's great. You can get online and look stuff up. But then it takes you, it's almost like that was the little shiny object, the calling card. And then you see, it's like an iceberg. You get caught by looking at the tip, but there's all that underneath. And this is the same with this journey. You go into things you never even believed you would go into, which is looking at how you treat yourself, your lack of self-love, you're increasing your self-love, looking at all these different aspects of where you do not take good care of yourself. That's what gets revealed. And that is the reason why all this other stuff doesn't fall into place. Right. That is where the issue is. And that's what the flashlight needs to be shined on. And when you get that, the money sorts itself out, the job sorts itself out, the relationship sorts itself. It's like all the pieces just float and fall into the groove.
Oh, they do. And it gets better and better.
Yeah.
Like the more, because once you start the journey, and you understand that this is about me and my self-worth and my own self-discovery, then you feel so empowered, right? Like, remember, I know when I first learned this, I was like, yes, now I can get anything and everything I want, and I can just stop feeling like shit all the time. And like, I can change everything all the time by just working on myself and changing my mindset and my belief system and my reactions to my reality.
Yes.
And it's such a beautiful process because it just gets better and better.
It does. And you waste so much less energy out there trying to rearrange the chairs on the Titanic, so to speak. You don't bother with that. You just go, okay, I'm going to influence and affect the thing that's the most powerful thing, which is the foundation of me. If that's there in my life, what have I got going on that I need to correct, fix, accept, let go of, surrender, allow? We'll talk about allowing and trusting in a minute, but you come back to you much quicker, much quicker, much quicker, much quicker. And you basically, you know, get the toothbrush out and clean out your head of all the whatever's not working. And then you work on the emotional, et cetera, et cetera. But you get faster at it and you get way less crap out there, way less crap out there.
Yes. Way less.
Yeah.
And then it's interesting because I was sharing this the other day. I was looking back at my own process in this.
Yeah.
And when I wasn't doing as much, or when I first started like the inner work, like really going deep in my mindset and my belief system and my self-love, I started like, you know, the what I want would start coming in like sporadically, right? Like little tastes, little nuggets, little bites of whatever manifestation you wanted more of. And then all of a sudden though, like there's this point you get to because you keep transitioning more and more in that state of being of your worth and value. And you inherently feel that way, that it's like the dam breaks and then it floods in. And now it's like this constant abundance all the time, whether it's better relationships, just easier, you know, driving down the road and people giving away stuff for free. And you just have all these beautiful, abundant things happening all the time in all areas of your life, right? Did you feel like that too?
Yeah, you just kind of end up at the right place at the right time regularly. And you just go, oh, nice, like that.
Yes. It's so nice. It really is. It's like, and that's the quality of life, that just anytime, any day, like things are just flowing in your favor. Like things are just unfolding in a way that's beautiful and in alignment with who you are and what you want. And it's not just about this person or this certain dollar amount, you know, it's all these beautiful things happening regularly. And then those things come in too, but like, it's just all the time, constant, more so than not.
But I think too, Kim, like you get really satisfied with really little things as you go on in this journey. Like I make a cup of tea, or I'll go with my friend to have we go to a specific place and we have this really nice home brewed chai with almond milk and stuff. So you sit there and I look at her and we go, oh my God, this is such a pocket of joy. So you get to the point where you are so satisfied with, you know, like I'm looking after this little dog. I'll sit out the back and I'll throw the bowl with the dog and I just see the joy in the dog. And I think this dog is reminding me that this is just, it's a simple thing. This dog is purely in this state of enjoyment and love, doing this very, very nothing thing. And I think it's finding those things. You're so much more open to enjoying and seeing the minute things that when you're dissatisfied, you don't see any of those things because you go, oh, who cares about that? Or who cares that it's sunny? Or who cares that I got fresh air all day? But you really see what you are given in those very ordinary things that are around us all the time that you did not see because you were so fixated on being dissatisfied with whatever was going on in those other areas. So that comes with time. It develops this deepening. And I remember Louise Hay saying she would walk up to her front door and she'd say, thank you for the doorknob. And I'd go, what? Like I had never thought to be grateful for the doorknob.
I never did either.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would get there. That's pretty
I know. But I was thinking, if the doorknob wasn't there, how the hell would you open the door? It'd be
that is true. We'd be stuck in there. You know what? Actually, when I was painting my doors a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, I had the doorknob off and I got stuck and I was like getting stressed out. I'm like, this is awful. How do you get out of here?
I know.
I appreciate that.
Doorknob gratitude, you know, like it's just those moments, but it's like you get better at really seeing the day, not just you're kind of skimming over the top because you've got this preoccupation with a desire you haven't got.
Right. Yes. And I think that's so important because we're training ourselves to be in this new state, to feel this new emotion and feel this new energy and have this new experience that we're not used to because we're so used to being in lack or the dissatisfaction, that when you do start training that, you start to, like you said, like I know for me, like I have so many moments through the day, like even when I'm just on this couch in the morning and I'm drinking my coffee and it's quiet.
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this feels so relaxing. And I'm just so thankful that this is my life, that I don't have to rush to a 9 to 5 and like what I wanted to manifest, right? We're manifesting it. Or, you know, that I can just lay in the bed. If I wake up and I don't want to get up at 6:30, I'm like, I don't have anywhere to be. Like I can make, you know, and just the freedom of that. So I really embrace those moments regularly. But I think like it's so important what you said, because when you're first starting this process, you're not connected to them because you're so disconnected from what you want.
Yeah.
You're so caught up in the chase and the lack that you don't understand how it feels to be a different way, and that there are other possibilities and different ways to feel and be, you know?
Yeah. It's a wonderful thing. I think you get to the point over time where you develop a trust in yourself, and we're going to talk, this is our next topic, but you also trust life.
Yes.
You just go, okay, I'm going to just enjoy what comes today. I'm going to, I'll do my meditation, my affirmations, but then the rest of the day, I'm just going to be in receptive mode. I'm going to accept, I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to be, and I'm just going to be. And really you're in a state of satisfaction. You're living and moving around with that in your bones.
Yes. And it's peace.
It is.
I don't have to figure it all out because I already know it's being figured out for me.
Yeah.
And that's a huge mindset shift, right? Because when we're so used to how do I get this and how am I going to get that and when is that going to happen and how and who and where and when and what, we're always up in here spinning 100 miles a minute, and it causes so much exhaustion and stress and focus and energy that goes into trying to figure out all this stuff, when in reality, one, most of the time it didn't work for us.
Yeah.
Two, we don't have to figure it out, because that trust in the universe, the trust that this consciousness that we are a part of is working in our favor and knows what we want for ourselves, because we've already declared it. Because people get so, and listen, I remember when I first really got into understanding intentionally manifesting and law of attraction, like people, and I did this, you know, I would get so fixated on, I just got to make sure, like I keep asking for what I want and stay, I want this, I want this, I want this, instead of just the whole part of allowing it to come in. Like, and it would take forever for shit to come in, because I was so focused on, I have to make sure it knows, the universe, you know?
I know. Okay. Let me ask you the question in terms of trusting and allowing in your own life now.
Yes.
What do you think, how do you think about those two subjects?
So that is one of my biggest things that I focus on for me. So when I have a negative doubt, and I have them every day, I just don't stay in them. The minute the negative doubt comes up and my brain wants to take off on all the reasons why something isn't going to work in my favor, I shift automatically to, even though I can't see it, I'm trusting in the unseen, because it's always working in my favor. And that just connects me to that state of calm and trust and certainty. And it just eases me. It just soothes me beyond belief, you know, and I do that over and over, so that because it answers my ego for me. And my ego can buy into that, because I've had a lot of experience of knowing this through intentionally manifesting and letting it go and knowing it always works, and way better than I could even imagine. So I'm all about wanting to be energetically and emotionally in the state that is in alignment, that has everything that I want. So that trust is critical, right? I mean, don't you feel that for you too? How do you do it?
I love your words. I trust in the unseen. That is just a anxiety removing statement.
Yes. Listen, that is one of my daily mantras that I say probably some days 100 times a day.
Really? I haven't actually heard of those words put together. So
I have that's whole lovely. YouTube on trust in the unseen.
Well, we'll put the link to that down below.
Oh, thank you. You're sweet.
Yeah, we'll do that, because that's a brilliant. I just think so many people, as you know, have anxiety. To really learn trust and allowing is a massive jump in letting go and surrender.
Yes. And don't you think they confuse it? Like, I love that you said it with letting go and surrender, because people really confuse that if I let go, that means I've canceled it out and now I don't want it. It's like, no, it means you're trusting and allowing that you don't have to figure it out. Like you don't have to obsess about it. It's done. Your job is just to chill, relax, trust in that unseen, and know it's going to unfold and blow your mind when it does.
Exactly.
But it's a practice to get there, right? Because
it is.
Mm-hmm.
My affirmation is I'm open to the known and unknown channels. That was one that I say. Yeah.
I love that.
So it's like,
the unknown is where all the magic happens.
Exactly. And that's
the unknown is the infinite possibilities that we can't even conceive in our limited ego,
And if you can lay down, like mentally and emotionally lay down and be in a receptive position, meaning the state you're in, I'm just going to let this go. I'm going to be open to the most incredible thing happening. I can't see where it's going to come from, how it's going to come from. I'm so excited because I know when I really get out of the way, the most amazing things happen.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, yes,
that's you're getting me excited over here. I love it. Yes.
But when I've done that, the most mind-bending things have happened and the most amazing manifestations, like things that you couldn't go, if I'd sat down and thought about that, I could have worked out it was going to come from, there's no way you could have worked it out. No way. So it's so fun.
Too. I love that because but it's you letting go. It's you trusting and knowing in this beautiful energy that is everywhere. And that all we have to do is get out of our own way. Like I always tell people, I'm like, there is no lack at all. It's only the lack we create in our mind. Like there's nothing but abundance. Like we can't even, like people, when they look at billionaires and millionaires and then, people that don't make that much money, it's like, there's nothing special about them, meaning they're not gifted in a way that other people aren't. They just believe and know and they focus and then they follow through with their inspired action to achieve and manifest what they want for themselves. But like we can have billions of dollars, we can have a beautiful loving relationship, health. I mean, there's no reason why we can't.
Exactly.
You have to allow, like you said,
you
and
have
trust.
to allow. And allow means you don't go picking up the little stick in the backyard and you keep poking it.
Yes. Just lay it down. Throw that stick far away.
Throw the stick and don't look for other sticks. Leave them alone.
No sticks. No more sticks.
Always, let me just poke it one more time.
Yeah, the bear's gonna growl and then eat your ass. Stop poking the bear.
Stop.
Let it be. Like, listen, I have this stuff tattooed in Italian all over me. Let it be. Let go. Like this was
really.
Yes, because I have tattooed all over my ribs about the power of letting go. Because
wow.
So I would force things all the time or fight for things. I always felt like you had to fight in love or just there was always something. Listen, I grew up in foster care. I was a quick person on my feet. Like I had to make quick decisions a lot. I ran away from a lot of these places and I just grew up in a mentality like I have to do everything myself and fight for what I want. So to shift out of that, one of my biggest spiritual lessons in this whole manifesting and being an intentional manifester was I got to let go. Like I don't need to force anything. Like I don't. And so it's such a freeing, peaceful way that I'm just, and I know it works, and like, I don't poke shit. I let it be. I don't judge it. I just let it be and go within and like exactly what you said. What is going on with me? I'm creating whatever. So the only power I have is to go within, get my self-love on point, really step in that energy of love and empowerment and belief and certainty in my worthiness that I can have whatever I want, and then let it the fuck go. And
yes
lay down like you said and just enjoy my day. And then it unfolds. It always unfolds, always.
And I can see why Esther calls it the art of allowing. It's an art form to be able to do it because it takes you get these impulses when you first start to try and allow and trust. Oh, let me just. As soon as you got the let me just, you've lost it. Lean back. There's no let me just. You don't need to do anything. You've done your meditation. You've done your self-love. You've done your focusing. Now go and make your sandwich and actually enjoy the turkey and pickles. Enjoy the turkey and pickles. Enjoy it. Be there.
Yes.
So,
and I think too, like, don't you think that people get inspired action mixed up with action?
Yes.
And like, so
yes.
how do you explain to them, like, what's your interpretation of knowing the difference?
In my life, inspired action comes lightning fast. It's like it just comes into my head and it makes me go, oh my God, good idea. And I get this kind of push from behind.
Yeah.
It's like you just get catapulted. You can't mistake an inspired action. If you're thinking, oh, I wonder if maybe I'll do that. Oh, that might be a good idea. That's not inspired action.
Right. No,
what about
I agree.
you? What about you?
Well, that's one of my things too. Like, it's just like this idea, this knowing that I just have to do this, and you just feel compelled. But
Yeah.
I had to understand the difference of that and me still trying to get something.
Yes.
Because sometimes I would feel compelled when I was feeling needy or insecure about something, or I was very uncomfortable with staying in the unknown and uncertainty. So I would force answers in my life, even if it wasn't in my favor, just so I knew the answer.
Yes.
So I had to learn, right? Like, what is the difference? So that for me, I always would ask myself in the beginning, like, okay, what's going on with me? Like, what am I trying to get here? Do I want attention? Do I want validation? Am I trying to just get an answer? And then once I answered truthfully, if it was yes, then I would just lean back and understand. But once I understood the difference, then I could recognize when I had this sense and this knowing that, like, oh, I want to do this now, or I need to do this. Another way for me that I know it's inspired rather than action, and I teach people this, is because allowing means we allow it to come into our reality. So I don't have to go pull it in. It comes in. And then I follow through with inspired action. So like, if I have a person come into my life, business or something, like, I have to follow through with action. Like you and I connecting, we have to reach out. We have to stay connected, try to follow through, right? But we're not like forcing, or clients coming to us, like we have to follow through with them. Or somebody, wants your phone number and asks you for it. And if you're interested in them, then you'll follow through and give them the number, like, or you'll get an idea, like something, but it's always coming into your presence first. And then you can kind of follow through.
Exactly.
But it's tricky, because I think a lot of it is just this intuition and this knowing that I'm supposed to do this next. An idea. It's like a nudge, like you said, like you just know.
It's a nudge. Because
it's not a nudge when people, sorry.
When people say, I had an impulse to, I go, okay. Where is that coming from? The impulse.
When they want to text their specific person, I'm like, that is not inspired action.
No. That's
what they tell me.
Not usually.
I thought inspired action to go on their Facebook or text them. I'm like, no, that's not inspired action.
That's your neediness. And it's acting out your neediness. But you got to ask yourself, which is it for me? And only you can answer that question for yourself. Especially if it backfires, that wasn't inspired action.
Right. And it usually does backfire.
That's when you know.
I know whenever I have initiated the text, it never worked out for me, ever. And when I don't, and I just allow it, you always hear from it. Listen, it's not even about a specific person, about anything. Like, it comes into your existence, it shows itself, and then you follow up with it somehow, some way.
Exactly. Oh God. People often say, how do you know if it wasn't inspired action? The result.
It's so true.
What happened?
You got blocked. It was not inspired.
It wasn't inspired.
Listen, we're laughing because we've been through this
We've
show.
been through it
You
before,
know?
I know, and not only once, at least 150
Yeah,
times.
many times.
That's why it's funny, because you see how much you burnt your own fingers doing it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, why did I do this? You know, but,
Yeah.
and this is the thing, this is the work, you know, it's to always go within, talk to yourself. What's going
Yeah.
on with me? We get so disconnected from who we are.
Mm.
We don't even know. It's just reaction. We're reacting. We're just constantly reacting to something in our environment. And you have to flip that. You have to slow yourself down through your mental diet, through meditating, through allowing, through leaning back, through not reacting, to going and asking your higher self, what is this really about? What's going on with me? Like, that's how you transform and make that change to live that beautiful life of manifesting anything and everything you want. But allowing is, I think allowing is 90% of it.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah. Now allowing and trust, they're I'd say, and they're the inaction things. They're the inactivity.
Yes.
They're all internal work. I agree with you, Kim. I think it's, you know, today I would say, forget all the techniques, focus on your desire through meditation, do your affirmations to support your desire. Do that for maybe an hour across the day, whether you do 2 half an hours or whatever. The rest of the day, you get into trust and allowing mode.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, because that state of being is someone who actually has whatever you think you want. Yeah. Because when you have the security of the financial abundance, when you have the security of the love in your life, when you have the security of the commitment of people who are special to you, when you have the security of a roof over your head, like the security of food, you don't worry. You're always in a set. Like I know I never worry about food. I never, ever, ever worry about having food.
Yeah.
I never worry about the roof over my head because I always pay my bills. You know what I mean? So I'm not constantly, I just feel secure and at peace in my home. And when I think about the subject, it's always secure and peace. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's really being in alignment to that energy, that because, you know, rich people don't walk around like, I am abundant, I am rich, I am wealthy. They're being it. They are like, they're secure, they're confident in it, and they're at peace with what's going on with them financially. It's not a worry. Exactly. And we have to start with I am, right? To get us to change our identity, to believe there's another concept of me that I can create. Yeah. And then I have to understand, well, how does that version feel like? So I can tap into that energy and change that. But then you got to allow, because you're still trying to force when you're trying to control it and push it. Exactly. And not trusting. Because not trusting, you're not going to get what you want. You won't stay persistent. You'll give up. Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah. Nice. Ah, good conversation. I know, we've been talking forever. I love it. And like, cause I always feel like I know with my own personal journey, and I try to really help people with this, but you have to go through it to experience it and like understand it from an internal aspect rather than just an intellectual. Yes. And like, when you don't allow, when you're still trying to push that timeline and force it, you're constantly shifting back to the state of being of lack. Yeah. And that it's not happening. It's not here. Where is it? When is it going to happen? I need it now. And so every time you transition back into that energy, you're just reaffirming lack. You're reaffirming more of that same experience. So the trusting and allowing is so critical, not only for that, but so you can actually get what you want, because you can't get it any other way. Exactly. And just to make your moments during the day more comfortable within your own mind and within your own emotional state, because people suffer a lot in those two areas, the emotions in the stomach and then the torment in the mind. So just doing it benefits you on a real sort of just existing through your days in a much more comfortable state of being. Yes. And isn't that what this is all about? It's because think about it. When people want to manifest, it's, I believe if I have this in my life, it'll make me feel this certain way. But we can learn to feel that way before we actually have it. Yeah. And then the fucking icing on the cake is that we get it. Yeah. But like, we don't need it to always feel this beautiful state of abundance and love and peace and serenity. I mean, it's such a gift to not have the turmoil. I know I suffered from anxiety and emotional turmoil for decades of my life. Decades.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
That is the greatest. I think that's even the most amazing thing, better than any manifestation.
Agreed.
Is that state. Peace. Just peace in your own damn head. That is the biggest jewel of all, I think.
And you tell me if this is how you felt. I'm sure you're going to say yes. I know when I first experienced that state of peace, I knew right then and there, I will never allow anything or anyone to come in my life and rob me of feeling this ever again, because it is so different than the state of chaos and internal, like worry and anxiety and torment, like you said. I was like, I never will allow anything to take this from me again, because I didn't know I could have it until I had it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you've earned it. It's mine, and I'm not giving it away. Yeah, never. I agree with you.
Maybe I'll fight to keep that, that'll be the only thing I fight to keep, but no, but like you won't want to relinquish it. No. And that's why we keep doing that work, because you have to emotionally understand the benefit of transitioning into this new energy, this new state of emotions, like you were saying. It's so important to this whole process.
It really is. It really is. Oh, good conversation. Yes. I just feel mentally satisfied after that.
I do too.
That's great.
Too. She's coming to say hi.
I know. I saw her. She was roaming around behind you. It's so cute how they love being in on it, isn't it? It's lovely.
Every video, even my courses I make, like they're in the background. I'm like, whatever. It's working from home. It's the pitfall.
Yeah, it is.
I feel
they're
bad.
Lovely. They're beautiful. They're just.
Thank you.
Animals are they pick up on everything, don't they? They just are.
They really do.
Yeah.
There was from Greg, is it Greg Braden? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. Yeah. So he had a video, I can't remember what it was. Have you ever seen the one, I won't talk long about it, where he talks about his mom, and it made me think differently about our animals, because he was talking about everything in our field picks up and feeds off our energy and our mirrors of our energy. So I know that with people and experiences, but I never really paid attention about the animals. Yeah. And he said his mom's dog got very ill and was having issues with breathing. And so he said, well, listen, when are you going to the doctor? And she said, oh, I'm going, because she started getting a cold or something. So she went, and they found she had a spot on her lung. And so the dog was having, and I'm butchering his story, but the dog had issues with the same area. And so once she went and got treatment, and she had surgery, and they removed the cancer out of her, the dog got better within a month after that.
Wow.
So that made me, when I saw that video, I started really thinking differently about my pets. And he was saying that this is another way, health-wise, if you have animals in your life, really look at what's going on with them and their behavior and their health, because it's usually when they get sick, there's something going on with us. They show it first, because they're in our energy field all the time.
Yes, that makes sense.
And they're so tiny, their little bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So make sure these girls' coats are shiny.
Yeah. Good. Oh, it's so good to see you, Kim. What a great. This was just so wonderful and interesting. I just love it.
I always love talking to you.
Likewise. Well, we will put down below all the links to everything, Kim's links, my links, anything we talked about. We'll put all that down below for you to have a listen to. And thank you, everyone. Kim, do you want to say bye to everyone?
Bye, everyone. See you later. Bye, Agnes.
Bye, Kim. You hang on and we'll say bye in private. Bye, everybody. Yeah. We'll see you, you know where and you know when. It's every week. See you.